Here we go. It's been a morning already. Let's talk about this. I don't even know. I didn't even check my camera. There we are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I forget how this goes. It's so good to see you.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is September 25th, 2025, and we're gonna write a little bit of code today. Things haven't been working smoothly this morning. Let's just put it like that. Can we start there? Is that safe for me to say? Can I say that without getting too far out of the weeds? Oh dear Lord. I didn't even open YouTube. I don't have the YouTube feed running there. There we go. Now I can see our friends on YouTube. Hey, Grego Waffles, Ellie Faces here. Hello, Napalm. How you doing there? Patty Boy tuning in from Glasgow. Hello. And even the map was giving me fits this morning. Yeah, there it goes. It reset. It was still showing content from yesterday, from Tuesday's stream. Eddie Dre is here. Let me go over. I can bring on the folks right here. Yes, I upgraded to OBS 32. Let's work backwards, shall we? I upgraded to OBS 32. OBS 32 is the latest version of OBS, the open broadcaster software, the software that most streamers use on Twitch and YouTube to do this. It's a major release. It's a major award. And when I did the update, I got all kinds of warnings. Plugin broken, plugin broken, plugin broken. I'm like, oh man. Hey, look at that. Wow, that is so good of you. I really appreciate you letting us know that you are a bot and you need to be removed. That's great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we're just gonna take care of that right now. Thanks so much. I didn't realize that I made the cut for folks to be selling views to me. Wow. I'm usually not on that list. Thanks so much. Let me see here. There we go. It's the Twitch logo hat. How you doing there, Zahay? Yeah, we've got you marked on the map as well. And Pulse's Digital. Come on, I know it knows that one. We had that pop up last time. Or are you just gonna give me fits on the YouTube? The YouTube messages processing. I think that's what's gonna happen. It looks like actually all of my message processing is just gonna take a powder. Thanks so much. Really? Geocaching request canceled for location, Malaysia. Why is that? Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. And here we go. Holy crap. What the heck is this in my logs? Yeah, okay, it got Virginia Beach, but why did it bail out on Malaysia? I'll take care of that one. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. I think I know what that is. And it's still not doing it. Still not plotting it. Why? No, I put the hyphen in the username. I think it wasn't working because of the space in the username. Space in the username isn't a thing on Twitch, but it is on YouTube, and I have a feeling that's giving it a fit. So, okay. So, we'll come back and look at Charlie later. See, look, now it's saying, unable to find Virginia Beach. Request canceled. Like, something's happening to the geocoder, and I don't know what. Yeah, it's just flat canceling requests for locations. And I don't know why. That's going to be annoying. Yeah, location should pop up there. Is the API broken? Could be. I'll get in and dig into that later. And now I'm hearing the dog. Oh, jeez. Oh, hello from request canceled. Look at this. Look at this! So, I did the update to OBS. Half a dozen of my plugins broke. I was able to get updates installed, running, and I can at least control the stream again. Like, even the Stream Deck was broken with the updates that they provided. So I had to go and rebuild that. Yep, request canceled from it. Oh, no. It's still trying to get it. Yeah. That's weird. Now I really want to dig into Charlie's location code and see what's going on in there. So, I fought with OBS. We have a blog post that's about to go live announcing .NET Aspire 9.5. And I went through, and there was a handful of things that weren't working for me as I was putting the finishing touches on that. So I had to do a bunch of updates and patches and things. That's done, patched, updated, ready to go. Yeah, geocoder API debug time. I'm not opposed to digging into that. I think we can do that for a little bit. And we can, yeah, there's a couple of test scenarios that we can address also. Let me get some music playing in the background here. I didn't even start Spotify. Look at this. Look at this. Oh. And I left the battery to my VR headset still on the headset instead of plugged in. Like, looking around my desk. Oh, what's this doing over here? What's that over there? And the dog is over here doing his thing and just being a pain in the neck. I hear you over there. Yeah. I have a new pair of Gunnar glasses to show you. Let me get the music playing and then we'll talk about those. I'm gonna do no, I want to do the EDM playlist. Synthwave, Stream Beats EDM playlist. And we'll start somewhere down. This is perfect. Perfect name for how I want to start today's stream. This is Alt F4. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music we're listening to today. Yes, Banana is goofing off over here. Banana is the name of my dog. The dog came with the name. And he responds to it. And it is the funniest name for a dog. And we thought, just go with it. It's fun. Everything's broken at the day job, about to Alt F4 on work. That's when I like to kind of go off on my own and figure out and tinker and play with things. Maybe we'll update. So maybe we'll just update Charlie to Aspire 9.5. This could be cool. You named your dog's name is Mango, so that's cool also. His sister from the same litter is named Lemon. So we had Banana and Lemon from the same litter. Like, okay. I got to show you this new pair of glasses that I got from Gunnar. I'm going to be doing a Gunnar stream. I'm going to be on all of Gunnar's channels. If you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, if you're, I think it's on TikTok, LinkedIn, Kick, Rumble. I don't know. Literally, they're going to multi-broadcast to all the things. I'm going to be on tonight, 4 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Pacific. We're going to have coupon codes for you to use. We're going to be talking about all kinds of different gunner glasses. We're going to talk about AI. We'll talk tech. We're not going to do any coding during it, but we're going to go through and have a great time. This is from their Witcher collection. Check that out. Nice leather, brown leather case. This is so cool. This is so cool. I am a Gunner ambassador. You can find a link to a 15% off coupon just below it. The new pairs of glasses, the new models, aren't immediately available with that coupon. You need to wait 60 days until after the glasses have been out, and then you can get the 15% off on it. But you can get it now at full price, this model. So this is from their Witcher collection, and of course, they do these fantastic prints on the eyeglass cloths, right? So check that out. Witcher and Gunner. And on the other side, this is the White Wolf model I got. So, of course, I get Geralt there. Looks so cool. Looks so cool. If you are a fan of The Witcher, this is a fantastic pair of glasses that you're going to want to check out. The bag, of course, has the logo on it. It's got the Witcher and Gunner logo on the back. And then check this out. Check this out. These are a pair of... They call them Interceptor, right? Interceptor, isn't that what they call these? Yep, here it is. And they've got leather wraps on the arms. Look at those. Brown leather wraps on both arms. Okay. And I feel like I'm ready to land planes at this point. Maverick, what are we going to do next? Like, white steel all the way around. Really cool pair of glasses. I like what they've done with this. They've got some other glasses coming out. So the Witcher models are out now. There's another model that's available that's a little bit more femme presenting for those that don't want the big wide aviator style glasses. The Witcher song is stuck in your head. So I'll wear these for the rest of this stream. It's really, really cool that, yeah, Charlie's not responding to any commands or anything right now. There's something going on here. Big thanks to the folks at Gunner for setting me up with another pair of glasses. There's more glasses coming. I believe, did they announce? I got to make sure this is public before I talk about, they send me information about so many of their glasses. There is a fantastic set coming. Come on now. I want to make sure I get this right. That I'm allowed to talk about this pair. Yeah, no. I think this is out. Yeah, the 17th. Yes. So they have a set of glasses out for Borderlands 4 in the theme of the character Moxie. Let me see if I can get that picture. So they have the Ripper sunglasses. I thought those were cool. Here we go. Yep, they're right on the front page of Gunner. You got to see these because I think these are phenomenal looking. Check this out. We're going to go over here. And of course, you just paged away from me. Yeah, I know. Go back over here. Check that out. I love the bronze color to them. I was looking at that. No, you didn't. Mayhem never looks so good. Look at that. I love the bronze color to them with the ventilated shields on the sides. I've worn a pair of the glasses with the shields on the side. They feel really good because they block the side, right? They get you a little bit more focused on what's in front of you. Simple round glasses. They look really cool. And of course, they come with a stylized bag and of course the cloth. Love the way that this whole thing looks. They've been doing a great job getting partners and interactions to show off some of these styles for the various properties. I think. Oh, look at the leather case. Look at that. Look at that clasp on the case. That's kind of cool. Kind of cool. So, definitely like the way this looks. It's of their epic performance level, right? They have these various performance levels that are how customized things are for various states. Most of the ones you see me wear are in the legendary performance level, or the esports pro performance levels. So yeah. Where is it? Holy smokes. No. Yeah, there's a series, the other one that they had come out. It's the same round glasses with the leather wrap down the side. So signature, legendary are the ones that most of the ones you see me wearing. Pro esports is the other set that you wear. That's Ren Fair garb clasp. It is. So, yeah, I'm usually wearing legendary. The signature ones they're all right. They're a good set, but the pro esports are a couple of the ones that you know I like. The Torpedo, I haven't worn those in a while. Echo, I've worn those a couple times, but I'm mostly a legendary person. You're not gonna let me jump to legendary, can you? Yeah, this one. There we go. Marin, I like to wear. I have the Talic. I like a couple other ones better. I have Monterey. They're nice. Those are the ones that I wear regularly. So, fantastic stuff. So, big thanks to the folks at Gunner for their help sponsoring and promoting today's stream. And of course, I'll be with them later today. It's so weird to me that I'm an influencer for a fashion brand. It's kind of weird. Not gonna lie. For some reason, yeah, Charlie is not responding well when it goes to do any interactions right now. I don't get it. And if we do the hat command, is that even going to work? Yeah, that worked. Okay. So let's do a little debugging on the geocoding here. Got the screenshot, and we should see the message come back. Yep. It's also not doing the text and messages. Something is not right. Well, it got Virginia. But yeah, it's not responding well at all right now. And I don't know why. Let's do this. Let me bring over... This is, of course, the Aspire dashboard, right? Charlie runs as a series of services. There's a proxy that connects into OBS so that it can grab screenshots. The website, I have Playwright running out here so I can script it to go take screenshots of things. There we go. Now we're getting something coming up here. Are we getting messages at all? Oh, okay. Yeah, it did not read that. Have I tried turning it off and on again? I have. Let's see. And I've also got a Redis cache out here that it stores data in. But something's not quite right in here. I'm going to pause the stream. Pause Charlie. Right, I have it running out here. I'm going to stop that. I do have the new Aspire command line installed. Can I do version? Yeah, there we go. I'm actually running a daily version, the 9.6.0 preview. All the things that just was released for 9.5 are available and as part of this. Is it Ubali asking, is Aspire like ASP but better? No. Aspire is a set of tools and libraries that help make your applications run better, deliver better telemetry, set up service discovery, and orchestrate the whole thing running locally with a really cool dashboard. Give me a second, I'll show you. So at the command line here, there's instructions on how to install the command line. I'm not going to go into that. There is... Let's just do... Right? At the command line, there's a couple new commands that are available, including this one. Aspire Update. So, Aspire has a series of libraries and an SDK that it installs with your application. Notice I'm not saying .NET application, but with your application. So what I can do is I can update my project to the latest version. Let me just do a quick check on what those... I have no idea what they are, but I am going to create a new branch first. I don't know. Fix map stuff. So I can update Aspire in this current project by doing Aspire Update. And check out what it's going to do. It's going to review the versions of all the packages that are installed. And it's going to... sure, let's go to... Sure, let's go to the daily versions. So, it's going to let me configure and update all of the packages, all of the integrations, and the SDK for my project to the latest version. Now, I chose a daily, which is going to put me on a 9.6.0 preview train. I'm okay with that for right now. So, see, it's going to update my app host project from 9.3.1 to 9.6.0. It's going to update my web project so that it's using the latest version of the Redis client package. It's going to update my Playwright project so app host gets updated. My service defaults, it's going to push service discovery to 9.6.0. Yeah, go ahead, do those updates. Which directory for a NuGet config file? Sure, that's fine. Put it right there. And, yep. It's adding, okay, some mappings. Cool. So let's see what we have that it changed in the project we can take a look at. So the map isn't running right now. We've got an issue with Charlie that we're going to take a look at and tweak here. So if we take a look at the files that changed, in my directory packages props, it changed some of the version numbers. I'm okay with that. It wrote a NuGet config here that goes and sets up a daily feed. It sets up API NuGet org, and it does some source mapping so that Aspire packages go to that daily feed, along with extension service discovery. Everything else goes back to regular NuGet. Okay. It created a settings JSON file in a .aspire folder up top that points out here's where the app host is, so it doesn't have to go rummaging around to find it. It updated my app host CS proj, so it changed the SDK version there. That's fine. And then these are the two changes that I have out here. That's okay. So I should be able to run it right now and see this. This is beyond me? Nope. Wait till you see what it does. It is not beyond you. Is it Ubali? Check this out. So, does Aspire only work with modern .NET versions? Aspire works with .NET 8, 9, and 10. Is the new version for compatibility with .NET 10? Not just compatibility with .NET 10. You start working at a new job, a new company 4 days ago. Ice cream stick model? That's fantastic. We got to celebrate that. We got to celebrate that. Yeah. Congratulations. And you're a senior software architect in the Microsoft.NET stack. Fantastic. So, right, Aspire helps architects, and it's going to help developers like Ubali here. Let me show you. Right, so I can do Aspire Run. It's the same as .NET Run for us .NET folks. And it didn't build. New version of the CLI is available. Okay. But where's my error here? Package downgrades from 909 to centrally defined 908 in hosting Playwright. Let's go fix that. Let's go fix that. So, come here. Aspire. Where'd it go? Hosting Playwright. Let's fix that. You should have. Stand by. .NET clean. Try that one more time. 6 errors. No. I didn't define in Aspire hosting Playwright. I'm not specifying a version. Let's push some of these up one. Show me the error. Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. In tests, Microsoft extensions, abstractions. Microsoft extensions. There is no centrally defined over here. Come here, you. Microsoft extensions configuration abstractions. Right there. Yeah, that should be 9. I bet you this one should be 9. I bet you're supposed to be 9. Fail to restore Charlie Webb. Those look like they went. Try it one more time. Aspire Run. Here we go. Did Aspire 9.5 get released? It's being released right now. There we go. Building app host. So, what you're going to see, am I pronouncing it right? Ubali? I don't think it's Jubali. So, Aspire doesn't have anything specifically to do with ASP. It does have to do with running multiple services. Yeah, I know. And you're going to make me re-log in here, aren't you? Here we go. That should just barely work. But who fired the hat command? That was from YouTube a while ago. Okay. Where'd my dashboard go? Like, there it is. So, 21 resources that I load and manage as part of this application system. Because my application isn't just my website, right? You also connect to a database. I'm connecting to a Redis instance that's running as a Docker container here locally. It's wiring up all the things for me. I can see traces for all the requests that it's doing and interactions with cache and see exactly what's going on for this. So there was the request for Manchester. It went and checked to see if it had that record in Redis cache, and it took 0.8 seconds. Yeah. So I've got that insight, plus I've got traces that are metrics that are happening over here. So I can see I've got my OpenAI tokens, metrics being logged about my tokens here. I've got information about the map lookup, how long it takes to do lookups on the map in milliseconds over here. Fantastic, right? Loading, painting, all that information. And I can see requests for specific locations, how long it takes to run that. So I've got this cool dashboard that stitches those things together. Oh, by the way, it gives me a network graph as well. So I can see exactly what's going on here. Look at all these API keys out here that it's managing for me for that website. The website reaches out into my OBS proxy project over here. It reaches into cache over here. But all these different API keys, it's loading up and managing and delivering for me. CTI Geek asks, is Aspire only used for local development, or is it also used for build, test, deploy pipeline, used when running in production? So the answer to that is it is used for local development. It can be used for build, test, deploy pipelines. It's not used in production. Let me explain. Aspire sets up the connections between these things, and you already know how to do these connections, right? My website, right? This is not a .NET thing. Your website, if you're in Node, if you're in Python, if you're in Java, you're going to pass in configuration through some configuration file, or you're going to pass it in as environment variables that get loaded, or an .env file sitting on disk, right? So we're going to do the same thing here, but we're going to streamline and put a standard definition for how we name these environment variables. So here's my parameters that I'm passing in, right, as references, and they're passed in down here. Now, I'm specifying the names of these environment variables. However, when I want to connect to that Redis cache, there's a standard connection strings cache environment variable that's created, and you can see it right there. Okay, so as a developer, I've defined a cache resource up here, right? It's called cache. It's running Redis. It's on this URL. I can see it running down in here. If I go to app host, I can see the definition for it inside of here. There it is right there. So to Ubali, I think that's how you pronounce your screen name. Let me know. Where you might run Docker Compose to coordinate, here's all the containers and elements in my project that are running. We can define with Aspire the resources that you want to work with using just a couple lines of C# code. That does several things for you. You're going to get a compiler that helps you structure it correctly. You're going to get real code that is going to give you not just IntelliSense help in editors like Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio or Vim or Emacs when you run the C# language server, right? You're going to get analyzers that come through and suggest updates for you. Don't know how to use Docker? I can help you with that too. So when I say add Redis here, right? For many developers that want to run Redis or MySQL or Postgres, you're going to go to the website and you're going to grab a developer instance of those databases. And you're going to install it and run it on the metal, right? Directly in your operating system. And that's not bad. However, if you work in a consulting firm, you work in an organization where you have lots of different databases and tools that are used for different projects, you could end up with your developer's machine looking like a junkyard, a land of misfit databases out there with all these little tools installed that are for this project over here and that project over there. And it's terrible to clean up and manage. And all these things are running in the background, and you end up fighting them because you want to write code. Docker will run those virtually as you need them inside of what we call a container. That container can start and stop for as long as you need it running while you're developing. You make a change to it, you want to run a different version, maybe you decide, we're not using MySQL anymore, we're going to use Postgres. You can swap that out very quickly as a container. Aspire lets you define and start that container with just a few lines of code. Manage the lifetime of that container. Do we want that data to persist? Yes. Create a data volume on disk, and it will persist that data between restarts of the database. And I'm going to run this with Redis Insight. So I'm going to get a tool that runs that in the browser lets me go investigate and see what's inside my database. What's great about this is then I don't need to install all of these tools. I wrote one line of code, and this tool is now available for me inside my dashboard. I can click into it, agree to all the terms there, and here's my database. And I can browse around and see exactly what this is in here that I want to work with. Fantastic. So I have lots of options to maintain, migrate, grow my application system without having to completely uninstall and reinstall things and start and stop things when I probably don't need that. So, now Mithin's hinting at very important next part of this, but let me, just to finish the thought about hooking up Redis. So there's my Redis cache, and I'm able to define it with a C# variable, cache. When I tell it, here's the website project I want you to run, and I can do this because it's a .NET project, I get special syntax that lets me run this. What looks great? Sure, I'll let that through. What I can do is to reference the cache. I can just say with reference cache. Then it doesn't need to spend time setting up the networking between these, setting up the password authentication between them. By just saying with reference cache there, what Aspire does behind the scenes for you is it generates that connection strings cache entry that you see right here. So I don't care what port that Redis cache is running on. I don't care what the password is that's generated and running for it. It places that appropriately for me. And in my code, for the website that runs over here, I can tell it to add a Redis client and just point to the cache, the cache resource, which is the same name that we're going to come back to you in a second. No. The same name as that. That string matches that string, and it knows how to stitch those together. Really cool stuff. Having the parameters organized like that. Did you do that? I forget if you did that. But I have all of my parameters for the various services laid out. Nope. Okay, I think that it's been so long since I've worked on it, I don't remember. So the various parameters for the various services, it knows how to go discover them and stitch them together and put them into the website as parameters. Is it magically finding Redis, or is it a config file? That's a fine question. So here, that's a great question. How does it know how to find it? So This add Redis method is coming from what we call an integration. And we're going to talk about integrations in a little bit. That is defined inside of a NuGet package, right? Inside of a .NET package that's called Aspire Hosting Redis. That package has some C# code that allows me to format and use this method. But importantly, what it has behind the scenes inside there is instructions about how to locate the Redis Docker container, the version to launch and run, and how to manage the lifetime of that and examine the health of that and report that information back to the rest of the system so that the .NET Aspire orchestrator and app host here knows how to report things back to the dashboard, knows how to pass connection string information back over to my other resources that want to use that. Really great stuff. Events was horribly broken. It sets all the Aspire parameters as environment variables. Yes. Yeah, it does. So, right, and the source code to this is open source, right? I just jumped right into the decompiled source for this. And you can see down here, it adds a resource, defines the endpoint, defines the Docker image right there, which is, it's just written some constants over here inside of another file that specify we're going to get this from Docker. Here's the name of the image we're looking for. There's the tag, the image tag that we're going to load. So, not a leading question? Yeah, right. So all of that information, right? And it generates a password along the way here. Right? It'll create a password. It will pass that into the starting Redis instance, that password name, password value. And that automatically comes back. And this syntactic sugar here, add Redis client, knows how to grab the connection string, grab the password, all that information, and set up a Redis client so that I don't need to think about it. It is all hiding behind a little bit of some libraries and some code to make it easier to do these things. What Mython is hinting at is there's a bunch of generated code out there. Yeah, you could do all this yourself. You know how to do all these things. This isn't doing anything new and unique and exploiting some Microsoft backdoor to configure these. No. These are using the standard environment variables, the standard tools that are out there. We're just putting an opinionated framework instead of libraries around it so that it's easier for us to do the right thing by default. So the other thing that Mython was hinting at about folks saying, well, I don't like some of that generated code. There's another piece in here called service defaults that is some opinionated generated code that sets up open telemetry for you. Standard telemetry reporting for any time that you're using the logger. You want to report metrics, standard reporting of those metrics. The dashboard knows how to read it, and you can publish it to a bunch of other locations as well. You want to put it in Prometheus? Cool. Present it with Grafana dashboards? We got you. You want to use Pingdom? Absolutely, you can do that. SolarWinds? For sure. Datadog? Yes. It all works with the same method because it's a standard. Health checks. You want to be able to report that your application is running? Let's set up health checks. That's a feature that's in ASP.NET. It's in a lot of the other .NET things. This automatically adds that configuration for you. Service discovery, that's how it takes that cache and turns it into a connection string. And some resilience handling for your HTTP handler, right? Like Ubali, have you ever had to write retry logic for connecting to your database or connecting to an API somewhere? Most folks don't create that by default. Like they wait until later and they actually need it, and gosh, it's not working the way that I thought. With this, it's automatically wired up by default. Standard resilience, retry capabilities, how to go find and load that stuff. Right? Yeah, Thindall, I've written it once, and when I need it somewhere else, I just copy and paste it from that other location. But when you look at what this method does, the standard resilience handler, it goes and creates timeouts. It creates a set of resilience options around rate limiting, timeouts. There it is, add retry, right? So it automatically does retries. It sets timeouts for your HTTP client. It sets total number of requests. It sets up a circuit breaker. Never had to do that. So when you get into really big enterprise systems or really big systems that are on the internet and you get a lot of pressure on those systems, retrying connections becomes a thing that's kind of standard that you end up having to do. But rate limiting and circuit breakers are very important. So, and all the code, this is generated and written here. So you can change this and add to it. It's just a set of defaults that you don't have to take, you don't have to use, you can add to it. So I wrote things here to add custom metrics for reporting about Azure OpenAI. Like, I want to report that, so add some extra instrumentation for that. So, and so on and so forth. You can read through this. So, really, really cool stuff. And what Thindall was hinting at was, I have all these parameters out here for connecting to these different services. So when the chatbot connects out and works with Discord or Twitch or YouTube, it writes those parameters and passes them in. So it actually gets them out of Secret Store, out of the environment, and then passes it in the name of the parameter that I'm looking for. This lets me move these configuration options to other places. I can put them in a key vault. I can put them on disk. I can create them as environment variables. Aspire will find and load them for me, right? Or I can change this syntax appropriately for where it gets it. And it still passes in the same way. So adding layers of abstraction, right? That's a key feature of object-oriented programming. So, just keeping an eye on one or two things here. What? Oh, crap. Is this public news? Yeah. Published 15 minutes ago. No, not a bad crap. You have some libraries that use that won't take an HTTP client as a parameter and does a new internally. Yeah. No, I'm not. My employer just announced that they're blocking the Israeli military from some cloud and AI services. I can't answer questions about that because I'm not available. I'm not involved with that at all, but I'm happy to see that that they're taking some steps to prevent some use of resources being used for war. So that's whichever side of it that you're on. I'm happy that it's not being used for for violence, for war purposes. So okay, continuing. Yeah, that's a pain, Thyndall. Is there a way to attach poly to a default that gets used when it's initialized like that? So when you use wrong one. Here. When it configures HTTP client defaults, right? It configures a default HTTP client builder. Right? So it forces that into all HTTP clients inside the application. So what I've seen is further down the chain, it does pick up and use these configuration options. So it should automatically be doing that. Should. Let me dive into what I need to figure out here. Why is the map duration and checking running so long? It feels weird. So let me. It is running. So let's go over here to the map. Should be loading some of those other values, and it's not. That's annoying. Where'd it go? It's in here. Components, pages, overlay map direct. And this one I think is done. We don't use this anymore. Right? Yeah. I'm gonna get rid of this one. And it's the auto subscribe to feature. That doesn't exist in the new. Yeah. So I'll rerun Aspire and hopefully we see that connect up here. You were just irritated? I know the feeling. I definitely know the feeling on that. So. All right. What'd you do? Yeah, see, it's picking that up from... And... that worked. There's the website. Error has occurred. Oh, great. What'd you do? Really? I'm gonna close these. Back over here. Really? You're gonna make me do all of that hubbub. When is Aspire 9.5 going G8? Today. Today. See, there, it restarted, and that YouTube message about the hack command just ran again. Okay. It's got all our YouTube friends on there, but it didn't map anybody else, and that's not lined up right. Have a good one, Mythin. Yeah, 9.5 should be out later today, and there's going to be an unboxing stream this evening, live on Twitch and YouTube with the Aspire team. I'm kind of sneaking this in ahead of time. Why is this not lined up right? Height, width, and then I went and did this. Well, that's the container. I guess that's all right, right? Yeah, the Visual Studio channel. But that's going to be like late in the night for folks that are in Europe. So, so why isn't that? First off, the layout's wrong, right? Like, figure that out. Really? I want this one. Margin top, max width. I don't want that. Yeah. That's on container. Let's see if we can force an update on that. Right, if I do something like this, and we do max width, right, basically force the issue. Right, important. Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that. So now if I do location set and who was it? Pulses digital Malaysia. See, that should have responded immediately. Why? Duplicate location, skipping. Hey, Attila and Simon. Hello, welcome. So not clear to me why. So what if there's a duplicate location? I'm actually okay with that. Do that. Really? What do you mean no results found? Sure, search with AI. Right? Literally, this town isn't big enough for the two of us, right? Like, oh, you know what? I bet that's in the map code. Yeah, I am doing well. Getting an early sneak peek? Yeah. So I did an Aspire update to 9.5, and this is running. It's actually running 9.6 because I updated to a daily version. But there it is. It's running Aspire 9.5. You're on fire today? Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes. So, and I was able to do that update with one command. I already cleared it. But at the command line, execute Aspire update, and it just patched everything. So all my client libraries, my integration libraries, and my Aspire SDK all patched to the latest version. Is there? There's that's TagZap. We'll come back to you. The other thing that's really cool that's in here is single file app host. This is a little bit more complex. But it should be possible to do this with just a single file. I like having this broken out like this, though. I'm tempted to gut this and show you what it looks like. Let me do it. Why not? Why not? So, starting with .NET 10, you can write applications as a single file. So, right, I've got all those projects and stuff and garbage out there. But I can write a single file. Yeah. I want, oh, I need to turn it on. Hang on. I forgot to turn it on. If only I had instructions somewhere about how to turn that on. That's okay, because I wrote them! Come on, open up. There's a configuration option. This is a preview feature that you have to turn on. Yeah. There it is. Need to set a configuration option. Aspire config set single file app host enabled true. And now go back and do Aspire new. There's another option in here. It's, where else did I do that? It is in here, in there. Because I'm running a daily. Here we go. Minimum SDK check enabled false. So Aspire config set. Turn that off. Now if I Aspire, really? I just changed you. Eh. Minimum SDK check enabled false. It should be in the feature. Why is it? Okay. I'm just going to move you then. And you're going to like it. Oh, probably because it should be featured dot something. Whatever. So now if I aspire new, there we go. Single file app host. And enter the project name. Sure. Output path. Put it locally. Yeah, give me that one. Yeah, I know. You want me to run it because I already have a app host out there? You're not going to let me do this, are you? Aspire app host single file. No. You just told me I could force it. Give me that. Yes. Write it locally. That one. Let me move the global JSON so that I'm on .NET 10. Come here, you. And it's like RC star something. There we go. One more time. With feeling. Enter the project name. Yes. There we go. 960. Ah, there we go. You're arguing with your developers about a potential Cloudflare issue, which they think is a customer problem. Yeah, no. Cloudflare is their problem, and when Cloudflare has a problem, it gets bad quick. Please send on the thanks to the Aspire folks for a great product. Well, it looks like Mr. Fowler is watching over there on YouTube. Hello, David. Good to see you. You've been teaching microservice clean architecture with 2 mentees using Aspire, and it's fantastic for abstracting away all the fluff so you can focus on the core concerns. That's, Simon, that's a key feature that we've heard a number of times is all of the networking, all of the container management, all of that stuff, DNS and host management, all of that stuff that you need to configure and manage and become an expert in goes away, and you get to focus on what you do best as a subject matter expert in whatever your business is doing. It's so cool. Really like that. Cloudflare, the best solution. Here, let's go to radio voice on this. Cloudflare, the best solution if you don't mind introducing a single point of failure for the entire internet. Clip that. Clip that. You should code your app to backup. Just go direct to the site because Cloudflare outages are not infrequent. Yes. But, like, that's it. That becomes a DNS thing then. And when was the last time it wasn't DNS? Oh, boy. So, I've been doing a lot of work with these things, and folks talking about how to get different services running and having to keep your eyes on different things. I'm going to go back to, I code in VR now almost exclusively. Working with one screen is a pain in the neck. And I code in VR almost exclusively. I have 5 screens. They are 170 inches wide in the virtual space. I have some portrait. I have some landscape. I have ultra wide 21 by 9 displays, all configured in virtual space. And it is flipping amazing. And I've got the exact same setup when I'm coding then, whether I'm sitting here in my office, I'm downstairs at the dining room table, I'm sitting in the family room. It is phenomenal. And I do it now with an 8-inch laptop. I have an 8-inch mini laptop that runs all the things, touch screen, and it's all on VR. It's so good. So good. Cloudflare is the alpha and the omega. Yeah. So it's a security change they made 3 weeks ago. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's awful. I am so sorry. What do I use for VR coding? I use a product called Immersed VR. And then I use my Meta Quest 3 headset. Now I've got a different headband on here that has a fan in the front, and it has a backup battery snap in the back. So I've got 2 hours on the battery that's in the headset. The batteries that snap on the back are 10,000 milliamps. So on each one of those, I've got about another 5 hours, and I've got 2 of them. So I swap in and out 2 batteries on those, and it works amazing. You just use the default screen sharing feature. It's okay. But with Immersed, I have a little bit more control. I can set backgrounds to look really nice. I can share and interact if I wanted to. I don't do that. You only have the single built-in. Yeah. You only get like 30 minutes, and then yeah. I wanted to show the single file configuration of this. Where do you see this, John? Where do you see this, John? So, our friend Damian Edwards showed this off at Build, and there's a video of how this works from Build. That's all you need to configure your application. Now, the C# dev kit doesn't quite recognize these new directives up front here. Doesn't quite recognize it yet. It's a little bit of a pain in the neck with it. But what you're going to be able to bring over all the things that you need. It's really cool at being able to add packages and the like. So if I go back down to right, here's my app host, and I had Redis and I had Ollama. I'm not even really using Ollama in this yet. And I had a couple projects that I was referencing as well. To load all those in, I don't need a project file. I can do these with directives. Let me show you. Let me close that. I'm going to keep that one for right now. I'm going to need that extensions file. So I can include this package. Go back to app host. Right, see how it does the reformatting automatically? That's going to get bothersome quick. So, give me that, and yeah. That's a C# formatting. Yeah, where's the settings for that? Give me this. What do we got? No. Give me something else here. I can't find a thing in this. Forget it. Isn't that a pragma? Yes. So it's going and reformatting things in ways that I don't want them to. And quite frankly, it's going to be broken for a little bit here while I'm adding the other things. I don't have Ollama actually running as part of this yet. No. Where the heck did you get that? And then I can reference, and that should have package in front of it. Like, yeah, this is frustrating. I need these project references, so I need my web project. Right, so I can do project, that one, and see, it goes and reformats. I need that one. Yes. And I want my Playwright hosting. Yeah. No. Come on now, do all the reformatting. Please. It's going to be so much easier building tooling for CI. Yes. I think it's also going to help folks start to create little script files. Take C# and turn it into more of a scripting language. So I've actually got 2 app hosts out here. I'm going to end up ditching one of these in a minute. What I have as extensions, this over here. Let's grab you. You're coming with me. I'm going to put that down here somewhere. And I'm going to want a using statement. Don't mind if I do. Please, I'd like a using statement. You're not going to give it to me, are you? Let's see what it comes up with here in just a second. Yeah, the file format's a little bit different, and I should be able now to grab the rest of this and drop that right there. Resource busy or locked? Retry. Cool. I'm going to take this and rename this. Come on now. That feels wonderful. What'd you do? Just delete it. Yes. Yes. Yes! Thank you. No such file or directory. My foot. It's right there. Oh, it's still running, isn't it, in the background? No, it's not running. It's not running. Yes. Really? Stop it! Okay, that's gone, so I should be able to, from here... Dear Lord. Eager little fella, isn't it? I don't want that. And quite frankly, I just deleted the code that allowed that. So from here, I should be able to do a Spire run. Yeah. Change the reader options. What? Really? DevKit being quite noisy. Oh, yeah. Extremely noisy. Projects using central package management that require implicit package versions be specified. Wow. Okay. So you're telling me that I can't use... No, I wasn't talking. Stop it. The phone started acting like I was talking to it. Get rid of that. Seriously. Now what? Getting somewhere. Interesting. So because I'm using central package management, it doesn't like it. I'm gonna have to roll back because that doesn't work. And I've got central package management rolled out everywhere, but that's how you would do it. It's an experimental feature. It's not quite ready yet, but clearly DevKit isn't ready for it either. So I'm going to delete those two and undo a whole bunch of this mess. Yeah, we're going to undo... Wait a sec. I can... There we go. Those are back. Global JSON is fine. Yep, you can come back. You're allowed back. So are you. I didn't even think about how is single file going to work with secrets JSON, user secrets, because there is no user secrets. Hey, Ravnos, your body was not ready for all that coding good? Yeah, it was so good. It was awful. All right. The map is throwing the error about the duplication. Oh, Digital Drummer J asks, am I using Quest 3 or 3S? 3. The 3S has a lower quality lens, and it has lower quality displays. You'll get a higher quality display, more pixels, right? I think between the two you get HD between the two lenses. Yeah, the lenses are a higher quality in the 3. The 3S is intended to be a less expensive, but it has more drive space, more consumer friendly headset. So nothing wrong with it, but I want as many pixels as I can get, so I use the 3. Catching up here. One second here. One second. Wasn't it grumpy because one of the packages in the directive was not in the directory package props? It was the SDK it was grumpy about. Yep. I was working in code spaces to update the to work on reviews on the Aspire announcement blog post, and the comments that I put in the code space weren't merged into the pull request. Not happy about that. Just, they need me to mark these as resolved from my side. And I already removed these. There was extra detail that I put in the blog post. What a pain in the neck. Yeah, there we go. Good. One second. Cool. All right, moving on. I don't think the single file app plays nicely with central package management yet. What do I think about the NPM security issues, or is NuGet more secure? I haven't seen those. I'm not familiar with what you're referring to. Can you give me a link? NPM security. Really? I'm not typing well. Supply chain attacks. Yeah. Yeah. NuGet, because it hosts binary files, has antivirus and malware scanning that runs on everything that gets uploaded there. That's why it takes a little bit of time for packages to become available on NuGet.org. It goes through an analysis. So there's some protection that's happening in there. And it's NuGet with those pieces in place is supposed to prevent those types of supply chain injection attacks. That said, though, I've seen GitHub accounts get hacked and folks modify GitHub actions so that they post and transmit secrets to remote locations. So, it's not NPM as a platform has been hacked. The NPM ecosystem has a very deep set of dependencies. And one of the lower level dependencies, way lower level dependencies, had some code injected that would do a bunch of nefarious things as folks would download and run any package, because it would bring in that low level package. And right, it's several layers of indirection, right? These transverse dependencies, right? You're not depending on this, but way down the stream of this package at the high level that you depend on, it's requiring it. So, somebody somewhere gave access to folks that shouldn't have. And you see this happen again and again with open source projects. Oh, sure, I'll take over and help. Oh, Here, I'm a long-time committer. Let me commit and share some code. And all of a sudden, they sneak in an extra line or two that goes and publishes all of your passwords to some malware site. These folks are on a long play to inject and take over and put malware into your code, into your applications. That's a thing we're going to have to be diligent about to investigate and make sure we prevent. So that's a thing. The code that I need to check into on this is actually over in the map project. Man, this is going to become a pain in the neck to do. Because of how I separated that out so I could get it into Tags app. And I'm almost out of time here today because we've gone through and tried to do so many things today. Best thing to do is have a layer of indirection between your critical code and package sources. So let's talk about that for a second. I'm a firm believer in adding a layer of abstraction between your code and a dependency. If it's not a dependency that's shipped with the tool, with the framework, yeah, add that dependency indirection. It's going to let you swap out and upgrade to a different version of the dependency later. It's going to allow you to swap out the dependency for something else that might be more interesting, more compelling for your scenario. An example that I always give about this is I have Entity Framework that I want to use for 90% of the things that I load in my application. And Entity Framework works great for that quick select, for that quick delete, that update, works amazing. But when I need to do something a little bit more interesting, a little bit more compelling, and I need to write some real SQL to work with that, Entity Framework will work with that. However, Dapper does a nice job with it as well, and actually runs a little bit faster. So, that indirection that I want to introduce by using a repository pattern, first off, I can swap out and put that SQL statement in and have Entity Framework execute that if that's good enough for me. And that indirection just works everywhere in my application system. When I also want to swap out and go to Dapper, I change it in one place. It's using Dapper now, and the rest of my application knows nothing about it. So adding those layers of indirection are really good. Don't use NPM or NuGet directly. Have a code review process. NuGet has a malware detection process that runs. So many ideas, so much to do, so little time. Amen, Jed. And quite frankly, I've been delegating more to Copilot to work on, and I've got a handful of things that I'm almost ready to publish, and I hope to publish in October. There was a story of someone contributing to a package for months, if not years. Meanwhile, their bad actor colleagues kept raising issues and pushing for resolution until the mental health of the maintainer nearly cracked, and the contributor stepped forward and said, "I'll help," and they were promoted. Yes, that was somewhere... That was like 2-3 years ago that came through. Yes. Mm-hmm. Nalian's been using the sync free tier. Yep, our friend Brian is a developer advocate for them. You had a PR on the Dapper docs merged in, the DAPR, not Dapper data. Yeah. Folks overlook the deal you buy into with open source is your responsibility for vetting and taking over support. Yep. It's really hard for NPM to do a yeah, Brian Clark. That's what I was going to say. It's Clarkio, like so. And yeah, it's SNCC, not sync. Yeah, I thought it looked wrong, but I trusted. I trusted you, chat. Yeah, I'm going to need to do some digging here on Charlie, and we didn't get into any of the tags app code that I needed to today, and we are quickly running out of time to get that stuff done. And I'm out of pocket this weekend. Oh, boy. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I need to end the stream now so that I can get some lunch. I have a meeting at the top of the hour. But after that meeting, I think I'm clear the rest of the day. I am. Okay. So I'm going to get some lunch, take my meeting. And then at 4 o'clock, so in 3 hours, I'm going to be going live on the Gunner channels, talking about Gunner glasses, talking tech, talking about AI. I'm putting together a list of topics to discuss over there on those channels, and I hope to see you over there. It's going to be a great time getting those folks interested, excited, talking about tech, and growing what those folks are exposed to. All right. So let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network. Who can I get you connected to? Who's doing something fun, interesting out there? I'm gonna look around the horn here and figure out a raid. No, I'm not gonna go into that one. No, I could. You know what? The Visual Studio channel is doing a VS Code Dev Days. So let's go raid them. And, yeah. What channels? Twitch. You'll find me over there. You'll also find me on Gunner's Instagram channel and their X channel as well. So, Gunner Optics. Yeah, let's go raid the Visual Studio folks. They are doing a VS Code Dev Days edition. So this is talking all about the great stuff you can do with Visual Studio Code, how you can use Copilot to get more out of Visual Studio Code, and take advantage of some of the great processing that's available there for you. All right? If you're watching on YouTube, I've got lots of great replays and other videos available for you down here, over on the side, depending on which version of the YouTube player you're watching on. All right? Get ready to say hi to my friends over on the Visual Studio channel, and I will see you later this afternoon to talk more about Gunner and tech. All right? Have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you might be. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.